welcome. We're so excited to be here. I'm Debbie Hauser. I'm one of your QU Live hosts and a student at Quantum University. We're so excited to welcome you here today at the official QU Live kickoff with our very special guest, Dr. Paul, who has some very exciting news to share with all of you. But before we dive into that, I'd like to thank you for joining us for the kickoff to our new QU Live program. So welcome. We've been working behind the scenes, to create a program that's intended to support your curriculum by offering supportive content to the more challenging topics that sometimes require assistance. Our hope is the additional support with these QU Live classes will help you gain a better understanding of your curriculum. Before we jump into our special announcement for today, I'd like to just first share a little bit about the goals of the program and then introduce you to our amazing co-host, Alexis. So the QU Live goal is to support our students during their educational career at Quantum University. The heart of the QU Live platform is designed to offer a more personal community and increase student engagement by promoting a supportive learning environment. Throughout this program, you'll have the opportunity of learning from both me and Alexis. And we also will have accomplished alumni who are experts in their respective field. So we aim to offer a diverse perspective and knowledge that hopefully will guide you through the facilitation of classes that support our curriculum at Quantum University. Now, the primary objective is to improve your understanding of the material in your courses and provide you with a multidimensional understanding of health and healing and its transformative potential. So, pardon me, we meet twice a month. The first session we offer will be new content that allows an opportunity for students then to submit questions. So we will provide you a link for these questions related to each particular class. The following class, meaning the interactive class, will then dive further into the topics that were not fully understand based on the questions submitted by you all. But we'll talk about that more after our guest speaker. So our next QU Live, next Wednesday, July 19th, we will teach you how to navigate this very easy use program and how to get the most of our time together. So our university has really kept up with the ever-changing growth in both science and technology in its curriculum. So as we grow, we find it equally imperative to those at the heart of our academic endeavors, you, the students, to show up for you in a new way. So this is exciting. So what we're going to do is show you what we're planning to do for the future. Dr. Paul will present to you this groundbreaking program, carefully crafted as an alternative to your current curriculum, which will be further explained by Alexis. Dr. Paul, Alexis, and I have questions for you. So as a student myself, I'm extremely excited about this very unique opportunity. And I truly believe that it will prove to be immensely beneficial, which is precisely why we've chosen the kickoff event as the time to unveil the program. But it's important to note that our regular QU Live classes will be designed to cover topics directly related to the curriculum. So that's about it that for me right now. I'm really excited to introduce the person behind the scenes, both a master's student and in the Doctor of Natural Medicine program, and serving many roles at Quantum University, including mentor, content editor, and now part of the QU Live team, our co-host, Alexis Reda.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. So our QU Live session today is a little out of the ordinary in that we are having Dr. Paul show us like some alternative pathways to support your educational experience. And we are all here to welcome Dr. Paul, of course, and we are very happy that he was able to come on today. He will be presenting the launching of a brand new program called the Doctor of Holistic Health. And the reason we are bringing this up here at the very first QU Live is because it is very geared towards practical application. So myself, having a dual identity here at Quantum, as I like to call it, as a student and as a team member, I have the privilege of understanding the benefits that this program is going to bring us as individuals pursuing degrees in health. I know a lot of you have had moments where you just don't know what to do for your practicum. You ask things like, where do I get the experience? And if that's you, then it's your lucky day, because this is a program where practical experience is literally planned out for you throughout the course of your studies. So I personally believe that this will be a huge influencer in the speed and the confidence with which students complete their degrees. So without further ado, I will pass the baton on to Dr. Paul, who will explain all the immediate details about this wonderful new program, Doctor of Holistic Health. So, Dr. Paul, as promised, we have some questions for you. And the first one, of course, is going to be, what is the Doctor of Holistic Health program? And how does it compare to the standard Quantum University PhD program? So go ahead, take it away.
Yes, welcome everybody. It's a pleasure to be here today. I'd like to give you some context. The Quantum University, we born like 20 years ago, and the curriculum has evolved, all along these years, and the standards have raised, and then of course we have an education team now, and we try to maintain, our student the best way we could. So, and then one of our preoccupation was also to raise the university with the standard of, academic, the highest standard. This is why, when it evolved, it became a little bit more difficult. And then 2-3 years ago, I remind you, we done a major upgrade of all the course, with a higher standard. And of course, this was good news, but the bad news was, okay, the curriculum is a little bit more difficult. We have more essay question, we have this multiple choice. And then of course we have tried to assist our students the best we could. And then when I look at this, I try all them to back up and say, hey, how we can improve this. And as also we evolve as a university, challenge become different. Remember before COVID, after COVID, people has to shut down their office and then go more online, virtual coaching, have more their relation, like the whole medical field. You think about the medical doctor. They convert to telemedicine. Most of them. And now today, if a clinic doesn't have a virtual tele coaching or medicine, they cannot compete, with people around. So, and this is why we have this. So I was looking, how the student flow, and we tried to correct, and make more flawless the curriculum with the mentors. One thing, is like the need for practicum came along. The need to be in practice sooner came along, because and then it was this concern was already from the beginning. In other words, we didn't want someone start to practice after 3-4 years. No, we want them already be able to do biofeedback or coaching already at the bachelor level. So this is why we came with exponential healthcare, for example. And it's a blessing today, because we know the economic context. So it's like, hey, you want to get in university, don't do what we see most of the time, out there. It's like the people study after 4-5 years, 6 years, they end no job with debt. Now we want to ask the you know, you do your program, you practice, you take care of it, and you do some income. So, and now we come with this Dr. Holistic Health. I have to tell you, the program you already are has also some characteristic. Okay, you have, most of you, with when you sign for a doctorate in natural medicine or you sign for integrative medicine PhD. The PhD is very notorious. You know, you have to look in society. Very few people has PhD. PhD is a reconnaissance of your competence and the way that you have come with the idea. And some of you already have done this. Some are on the way to do it. And then, as again, we have PhD mentor. We try to create this as easy as possible. And then I don't want to talk about Dr. Holistic Health and everybody think, oh, no, I should have signed in the other program. No, what you have is really precious. And the Dr. Holistic Health is not a PhD. You have to understand this. In other words, it's a board certified Dr. Holistic Health. And in many contexts and environments, you know, you can title yourself board certified Dr. Holistic Health. But you cannot say I am a PhD doctor. So it's very precious. So everybody has to, after this information, everybody has to look, you know, what is the best for them. And as many institutions around, we had to raise our tuition fee. In other words, people who signed a few years ago, 2-3 years ago, even a year ago, today people will sign and the tuition will be higher. And then people cannot say, hey, I signed 3 years ago and now, oh, I want this one and it's free. No, because all the program, the tuition has increased. So you are the looking one that had got like probably $4,000 or $5,000 less the program. So, and then we have a structure thing that, hey, I want to have the practicum. So we have discount package for you. If you want to keep doing your PhD, it's matter for you, you know, then you can compound both at the same time. So it's like you will contact an academic advisor, see, you know, for you if it's a path, or you want only the practicum, keep the PhD, or transfer totally to the other program. The benefit, the other program, of course, doesn't have a PhD. And we have recognized also that many students get hooked there. In other words, they are in the program for 2 years, 3 years, and they cannot put their mind to write this paper. And that needs a little bit more academic, you know, to structure a paper, research. It's workable, you know, with the mentor, still reachable. But we try to kind of, for people that are more practitioner-oriented and are more healer-oriented, to create this curriculum. So don't think, hey, oh no, they come with a new one. The one I signed is not, no. The one that you already signed has this privilege to, you know, at the end you have a PhD, which is for people who write books, for people that give conference. We have many students, because our student, what is particular, they come from different background, and at the end of the day, they use what they learn at Quantum University in different area. This is amazing. You know, you have people that start clinic, some work essentially online, some work for companies, this is the beauty. Okay, this is not like a medical school where at the end of the day, it's a shop, everybody prescribe the same pill, follow the protocol. If they don't follow the protocol, they can, you saw it in COVID, they can lose their license. Think about it, you know, it's like, you are in a place which is the future. And then we have also implemented this in this curriculum. The fact is, think about it. The medicine own and control the therapeutics. They control the diagnostic, they control the prescription. Now with this quantum medicine, and we're unique in this sense, you know, we are the only university out there that's framed its curriculum in a consciousness model. And this allows us to broaden our understanding of the reality. I'm saying, I'm writing a blog now for next month, and I say this, it's like, hey, you remember the Plateau Cave? People watching at shadow. This is where is the linear materialistic model of medicine. They look at a fraction of the reality. Some say 0.0001%. They look at the physical and they try to fix disease, pharmaceutic surgery. They don't allow themselves to use all the panoply of therapy that belong to energetic medicine. They still they don't understand how acupuncture works. Homeopathy has been disqualified. All the modality we find in our curriculum are totally denied. Why? Because the ground curriculum, and I wrote this in one of my books. You don't know the price, the cost, of an incomplete medical education. So, and this has been my challenge for years. It's like, I am a medical doctor. I practice medicine for 25 years. And as I grow, I built an integrative curriculum blending all these therapies. And at the end of the day, my practice was 5% medical, 95% holistic. And then, hey, my parents would say, hey, you're not doing medicine anymore. And I think they were right. But this is where we are today. You are in the place. You work from a ground that we call consciousness, but we translate this in the curriculum as the biofield, and that biofield, there is, I wouldn't say no role there. Of course, there is a thick role, but, is not owned by medicine, and more we learn, more we start to understand quantum physics, well, more we understand the structure of universe, there is more energy, in the subtle energy than, not the only one to say that, Nassim Haramein, Lipton, it's like, in a centimeter cube of quantum fluctuation, you have more energy than contained in the whole galaxy, the whole planet. Can you believe if we have access to this subtle energy, to tap in this, to restore health from the point of view, not of disease, but from the point of view of health potential. So, and we have welcome in our new curriculum, did I answer the question? I'm probably going too far now. We have answer, the question, in this new curriculum, practicum, we have integrate the science of Nassim Haramein, the unified field.
Yes, and I was going to ask you, Dr. Paul.
Okay, I'm not going there. But
who will we be learning from?
Let's be sure I answer the first one. So in other words, okay. PhD, still good. People will still sign in the PhD, some more academic oriented, or all depend the path you want to do. So, and this is what I suggest. When you sign, you need to know where your why. It's very important because people can see that, they sign, they're very excited. Oh, I need to learn. Oh, I need to do tests. And then they lose their why. They lost it. And then they are overwhelmed by, financial stress and this and this and that. So, in other words, everybody, this is what I say all the time. They carry a dream, you have this passion, you have something, that you are a healer. Many of you come from the fact you were sick, or have helped someone with the other challenge of disease, and then start to dig in holistic medicine and find a way to get out of that hole. And then they say, oh, I want to do this for others. So in other words, it's like a mission. It's like, and then never lose that. Because, of course, there is on the way some work to do, to get accustomed with this concept. And myself, I never stop to studying. It's very important because look, the last 10 years, how much has the knowledge about the consciousness and all these quantum has evolved, and I find application in. So in other words, it's a never-ending learning. So here we create a curriculum that we will talk about that has different benefit. You are in the PhD, still good. You want to graduate or transfer, we will have a package for you. But please, please do me a favor, okay? Because you have to understand the university has grown. We have almost 30 people now working at Quantum University. And then I compare this a little bit like an iPhone. Everybody is not surprised to buy every update every day the iPhone and pay more, and then and they don't come to the company and say, hey, can you, I bought this one, the iPhone 12 a few years ago, can you replace my my iPhone for nothing? We would like to do this, but we don't have grant, we don't have sponsor, we are all the community. So in other words, it's not possible. You know, we need to find you know, for people who want benefit of this program, some, you know, we probably have some advantage package for you, or maybe you just think the curriculum you are, that's okay too, you know, but we cannot. I would like to do it for free, but you know, it's impossible. We have too many overhead now. It's like we're managing a real, it's not, Quantum University is real. You know, we have academic advisor, we have a marketing, we
It's
have
a real place.
you know, we have a management, you know, and then 20 years ago, I stopped this like a nucleus, right? But today it's not anymore nucleus, it's a factual university. So I think we can all work this together. Thank you.
I think so too. Dr. Fall, I have a question for you. The curriculum, this current curriculum that you're speaking of, what types of modalities are included in the healing perspective, the healing arts?
Yeah,
is consciousness a part of it?
Oh yeah. This is we have had how many courses? 24 courses.
Oh, 24, wow.
So in other words, and these courses are unique, you know. And then we have also welcome a new faculty member, you know, and this is incredible. I'm very excited about it. But today, years ago, of course, we had Dr. Lipton, Dr. Goswami, Dr. Porter, Crown. Now we add the people like Nassim Haramein is a big piece, Greg Baden, Ripper Sheldrake, Hart Matz, Roland McCurdy. So can you believe that? You know, we have access. These are the giant, you know, there's a collective, because you shift a paradigm, not with one mind, you know, you need like an orchestra. I said this so many times. And we have on board the information about all these people, you know, it's like we have extended our curriculum. We have integrated this in some practicum, because that was also something I want to improve for so many years. But practicum, you have to understand, the core of this curriculum is consciousness. And this is what I titled this pro-consciousness medicine. But then I say this in another blog, I say, hey, it's nice to know about consciousness, but you know what's matter is how you relate with this consciousness, this field of information, this field of fluctuation, Planck oscillation, you know, there's so many ways to describe it, how you relate with it, and then third, how you heal with it, how you use this energy, that this tremendous energy people are talking, to heal with this. And now you have this, you know, recently a concept that came along. It's called vacuum engineering through the unified field theory of Nassim. Now we have found a way to kind of what we call couple with technology and the vacuum. In other words, can you imagine if you could like interact at this 0 point field and then you know and couple with other technology. So we know that we can couple the pulse electromagnetic field with vacuum engineering. We can couple meditation. So in other words, these are all applications that I have implemented in the course, called Harvest Subtle Energy, Mastering Singularity, and then plus, you know, we had also, because now we will start to do coaching. Most of the time, these coach, when they knock at the door of a board, they need to have hours of coaching. So when the student will be able in some practicum to account for the hour, the log on, you know, for this hour of coaching. We have, you know, we also look at how to monitor health. And I spoke about this so many times. You know, we know how to, the medicine the last 20, 30 years has been very good to create, you know, tools to diagnostic. But don't forget, at the end of the day, it didn't change the cost of healthcare. It didn't change the trend of people dying. We didn't even extend life. Even if we have all these sophisticated tools to diagnostic based on, again, on a linear model. So we need to shift this focus on disease and focus on health. But now, when we say that, we have to look at other parameters. This is very important. If you cannot scale health, it's like, you know, a doctor cannot do a diagnosis. I'm not saying it's bad, but you know, you need the other, you need to get out of the cave and see the whole reality. So how to monitor health, it's unique to Quantum University. We have integrated this in courses. Some of these courses we already have. Think about the digital biofeedback, the digital monitoring. This is a new feature in this university, in this society, where you can have apps monitoring your brain, monitoring your heart, your lifestyle. So in other words, when you start to structure a relation on exponential healthcare as a coach, you can monitor your client, how, you know, he can increase his full potential to improvement of lifestyle. So people think coaching is just the clap on the shoulder and say, hey, eat well, exercise, you know, it's like a set of virtues. And then think about the weight loss. You know, if people were, the client was on the weight loss and never put his client on the scale, you know how efficient he will be. So in other words, it's like we design coaching program integrating with monitoring of this, and this is this kind of practicum we have integrated element of coaching, element of integrating energetic therapies. And then we have also added a new feature, okay? This is a huge challenge, you know, the one is, okay, a few years ago, 10 years ago, we had made course with Dr. Joe Dispenza, for example, another giant, you know, of how to change habits and kill yourself. You know, we were able to invite him in Hawaii. He will sit in our studio, and Dr. Lipton and others, Dr. Goswami came very often. We were able to have them here. Today, these pioneers are so big, they don't have the time anymore. So I try to have access to the update of their information, because Dr. Lipton has evolved, you know, in what he's talking. You know, he starts with epigenetic. Now he connect, you know, the biofield with epigenetic, and then he relate the quantum field as the sole governor of our genetic destiny. This is huge. In other words, first he talked, you know, how your emotion, belief system. Now he connect this with the biofield. Biofield, I'm telling you, this is the cornerstone of the next decade for holistic practitioner. So, and then Nassim Haramein, I have him in my studio in 2014, I believe, something. But he has made a lot of progress, published article, you know, wrote equation that, you know, are the ground of this unified field, the radius of the proton, so 3-4 major article, and now he's you know, he's the author of this unified field. This is huge. So we need to update this. We need to update, you know, because we are not, the advantage of Quantum University, we are flexible. So that all dinosaur university, most of them are framed with information that most of the time is still in the old conventional science model. So us, we can kind of turn around in a year, come with a new information of Greg Baden, by example, Lipton, Dr. Lipton, the other one is Rupert Sheldrake, and you will see the picture of all these people. So in other words, it's like, hey, people should be rejoicing because Quantum University become, kind of a leader in holistic medicine because nobody has pushed the boundaries of understanding the human reality more than us. It's impossible. So,
Dr. Paul, if you don't mind, I'm so excited about these giants in the field. These are all, I think, all of our heroes. It sounds like this program is more like geared towards showing us as the students how to transform the outdated medical model, that narrowed version of the medical model. So more of an expansive type of way that we could also learn about these particular understandings of singularity through the meditations and kind of apply them as coaches or doctors of holistic health in a more in a way that helps us communicate and entangle more with our clients or our patients. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, sure. But let me finish to answer this question. Sometimes I go around and, some. So in other words, we have added these to a membership to Gaia, because they have written all their teaching to a series of conference. And I think, by example, a quantum revolution. Dr. Lipton was about inner evolution, and then Dispenza, Rewire. So everyone has kind of created series there. So and then we have used them, integrated the practicum for the student to dive in the understanding of this concept, because this is not easy to grab, what is consciousness and what is, so in other words, and then these conferences are very it's an easy to, and then the student have to answer a few questions to see they have understood the subject. So and then we have inserted this also in the practical. So this is what I want to say. So that was a way for us to upgrade the information, but don't tell. But it was already there, okay? Because we have also these teacher coming to conference, but now we kind of connect all the dots together because everyone has a piece of information. Let's say Lipton has a piece of information about genetic. This is very important. Genetic in medicine. This is a failure. The Darwinist model is just creating a view that if you have a diagnostic, you count in this model, and then you can do nothing about your gene. It's like we have expanded this to the epigenetic. So everyone has a piece. Dr. Goswami probably lay out his contribution is he lay out the principle of quantum physics that apply to healing. He put you a foot in the door, but after that you say, hey, what is the next step? How far? One say that how far down the rabbit hole you want to go? Because in some way you need to kind of understand. This is why we have the Taoist medicine in my course. The mechanic of the trigger this energy within, and then you were talking. Be about mastering singularity and vacuum engineering. So in the curriculum we already have pro-consciousness meditation. I already said so important. You are in a school that the process of learning have two legs. One is acquiring information, and the other one is experiencing. I said, hey, pick a meditation that has the capacity to transcend. So in other words, you start to be familiar with this fourth dimension. Your brain starts to be a rewire, and that you can get out of this cave where you take shadow for reality. You want to see the whole light. In meditation, this is what what help to do. And then Dr. Dispenza in his new course, he made very obvious, you know, if you want to experience the sleep, you need to kind of, and Greg Baden, to experience, you know, these gamma waves. So, you know, the mindfulness is nice. You're probably in the alpha when you do but you need a meditation. And this is why pro-consciousness medicine has crystal that trickle the pineal technique of breathing, mantra, whatever, to access these what goes when we talk about the bliss body, you know, to access this, you know, experience of fullness. And this is where, you know, and Deepak Chopra talk about it in the book, it's like the leap of awareness, you know, this is when they have this, you know, experience of go beyond and see the whole reality, the sleep of awareness. This is most of them when the whole physiology is create more coherence. Oh, and so on. So, do I answer the question? You were. So yes, this is why we have integrated this. We go a little bit deeper in the pro-consciousness meditation, mastering singularity. Mastering singularity is trying to understand this point of singularity that you know in meditation, where you reach this point where there is nothing. It's like you are in a state of fullness, full awareness. It's like you are. Let's take the example. You know, when Nassim speak about this torrid field, the bitorus, you are at the center of the tornado. You know, within, and this, you know, you start to get familiar to it. This is where you start experiences start to harvest certain energy. So this is one of the practicum I create myself. So that is an integration of pro-consciousness medicine and quantum physics and so on.
Yeah, and I think, yes, I think that's the beauty about this whole thing is now with all these experts that we have that have been working in the field for so many years, actually doing scientific research, actually applying the knowledge to real life experience, each one of them brings a bit of the truth, you know, and we're unifying this, right, to uncover the whole truth. And that is, I mean, we're all just trying to get closer to the truth here. And I think that with the beautiful videos that are going to enhance the entire curriculum, with our partnership with Gaia, for example, it really brings a new dimension to the way we learn and the way we digest the material. And of course, I think one of the highlights of the Doctor of Holistic Health program is the whole practicum experience, because as I mentioned when I started talking to you about this today, the Doctor of Holistic Health program lays out a practicum pathway for you with a whole bunch of different modalities to test out for yourself, to try to apply, and to then write about your experience with those modalities. And again, we're always coming back to the fundamentals when it comes to holistic healthcare, integration of quantum physics into the way we practice, into the way we live our lives. We're always going to come back to these fundamentals. And now the science is developing, and it's developing exponentially, shall I add. So I love what you're talking about, Dr. Paul, and I would love you to go on. Debbie, what is our next question for Dr. Paul?
Well, we were basically talking about how the program really expands on the things you were just talking about, Alexis, in the healing arts. And I'm curious about just how far it's pushing the boundaries. That's one of the topics that you and I were curious about earlier. So, Dr. Paul, can you talk about more about how this program is, you know, at the pushing the boundaries of what we understand in the pro-consciousness world? You know, you were mentioning before about that point of singularity, and I was trying to imagine, you know, that whole tornado and being at that point and then dissolving, right, dissolving into nothingness. And as we learned in the neuroplasticity class, that's, you know, when we have this moment of this, oneness and noneness, we kind of experience the gamma waves. And is this program really tapping into that aspect? Is that where, Alexis knows a little bit more about the program? Is that more how it's geared?
No, it's geared is geared to go in practice and manifest healing, because
Manifesting.
this is very important. And then, but most of the time, medical school just forget about the doctor, the healer. They think everything is in the book. And at the end of the day, what's heal? And I went to an event in Switzerland years ago, and that was a question: what is healing? And then, because we don't want to fall in just the metaphysics and the spiritual experience. For me, it's like, how you relate with it, how you heal with it, and most of them at the beginning is more like, universal, but it has to become personal. In other words, it's like you will have your moment when, you integrate this in your ways, because you will see what is the medium of healing you use, and then understanding yourself and the power of this consciousness of this vacuum, the result you will have. So because at the end of the day, the one who heals is the one who is right, okay? Medicine has its time. I think the prime time is turning around now. Why? Because you look at the stats. Healthcare never was so expensive, and we cannot afford it anymore, okay? And don't think Canada is better because it's social medicine. Now it's even worse. I don't want to paint that. But in other words, we are at the conjuncture now that if we don't explore other path of healing, that, did we have financier for cancer? Except to kind of radiate or burn do we have a financier about psychosomatic disease? I talk about this all the time. No, because the model of thinking is not a downward positional model. It's like, hey, you manifest healing from the bottom up, and then the outcome is, hey, the third cause of disease is iatrogenetic medicine. In other words, this is the medication, the treatment we're using create more death than anything else. So in other words, we are cornered. I don't want to go there long term. I'm not against medicine. I love medicine, but we need to go get out of the cave and start to understand the bigger reality. When you have the understanding of quantum physics, now you start to grab 99.999% of the reality, because everything happened in the subtle. And more you will work with tools that are built from the subtle energy, greater result you will have. Because people think, oh, I want to have something immediate, fix a problem, but at the same time, they ignore the source of the problem, okay? So for me, what's matter is not the guy who sits 10 hours a day in meditation. I would like to stay there. No, it's how this understanding is this experience, deeper experience, that what will be the outcome? What are the fruit of this? It's like a tree that doesn't bear fruit. It's nothing. And then and I was saying this, it's like there is two parts of the equation. We forget to grow the awareness of the healer. In other words, for now, it's like, hey, more powerful medication, more this, with more side effect. Now, start to understand, the healer and the healing. Because the healer, the way his consciousness is framed, will have an outcome on the result. If I go to a medical school, I'm just framed to make a diagnostic and go in a war with the disease. Do we cure war by war? Look outside, what's happening now. Oh, the one has the bigger gun, he's the one who wins. But do we, and we look at the history of killings and conquer territory, and so do we have solved with war. No, we will solve disease if we turn around and look in another direction where there is abundance, there is infinity source of healing. We develop other source of energy when you start to understand the narrative of Nassim Haramein, access energy from the field, because there's tremendous energy there. We can even envision a future where we don't need petrol anymore to feed the energy. Now we can extract from the field. And we have already experiments that demonstrate that. Same thing in healing. We heal by preventing, and that was one of my obsession for years, because most of us, many of you have read my book. My trigger is I lost my brother, and then when I was 18, he was 17 of brain cancer. Osteosarcoma of the skull. I'm telling you, it's pretty traumatizing. And then at one point I said, hey, don't try to fight against something, but try to prevent something, and most of the cancer will be able to be prevented, changing way of thinking, belief system, lifestyle, exercise, and so on. This is what is the coaching of the health potential. So, and then you do this to access a territory that is not on the control of the medical system, of the pharmaceutic. You own it, okay? This is you and as you learn about it, you're looking to help others, but the one that would be the most help would be yourself, because you will start to have a greater understanding of the reality. So I have to be, I'm not clear. I want to clarify this, because people, when we think about this, they can, it's a bit etheric for them. But we can all learn this, learn to access these altered state of consciousness. This is not something that is strange. Others have done this before, from with different tools, different path. And this is why I think is the way where healthcare, and this is why I call that exponential healthcare. It's like the focus is on health. The focus is to access this tremendous energy within. And of course, the price is, learn to meditate, learn to practice heart rate variability, change your habits and whatever. And then you will better invest with a coach and have, a healthy, later life than just ignore everything and just try to find fix. And at the end of the day, of course, you end with chronic disease and pain. And the problematic in Canada is in Quebec, because I still have in touch with this medical. It's horrible. People doesn't have doctor in them. I don't want to go there, but this is, I think the path is what we teach in Quantum University. And as I said, it needs different elements. It's a puzzle, and I think we have put together all the puzzle. We have put the thinking, the theoretical model, not that is practical, but also we have modality. So look at our curriculum. You're in the PhD now. You have modality about hypnotherapy, auriculotherapy, pro-consciousness acupuncture, Taoist medicine, holistic anatomy. Look at all this. You already have, I don't know how many courses now, but they all tie together this modality that you can, be able to practice, when you get in practice. So that your plate is full of tools, but not tools without an awareness, tools with a consciousness. And I said this in another conference. I said, in my years of medicine and learning, I study many things. I have so many tools. I have homeopathy, I have acupuncture, biofeedback, pulse electromagnetic. Look in the curriculum, but the greatest tool that was to expand my awareness about healing. It was about, when the clients walk in, not see, a prognosis, fatalistic prognosis, but see, that anything is possible. I don't know the answer. This one may heal, this one may be resolving some problem, whatever. Something is there for that individual that is looking for well-being.
So this, Dr. Paul, thank you. I'm so excited about this program. So this does sound like it has some similarities to the Doctor of Natural Medicine, but where it splits off specifically, could you just speak a little bit more to that?
Yeah, so in other words, the actual program, this is the ground, okay? Because the new curriculum has also this course. Okay? This is the ground. We just add a layer of way to practicum to implement that. And then this is this extra course we have added to the curriculum in terms of the practicum, in terms of also contribution of other. I don't think Nassim had it has more contribution now, because this is where evolved now the understanding of quantum physics. So it just flow with the other one. It's like, you dive with more integration of, and this is what also important for me. It's like, hey, I'm teaching Taoist medicine, okay? It's like a model to understand how circulate energy. I'm teaching holistic anatomy in the previous program. These are still necessary. We teach microscopy. We go a little bit further. How you can implement the microscope with coaching. In other words, we extend idea that was already there. By example, poor consciousness acupuncture. Many people has been exposed with crystal to you, but how many people are using this in their practice? So I go a little bit deeper, how to do this. At the same time, coupling with a pulse electromagnetic field, coupling with arc crystal. So it's just a continuation. It's not something that is
Right. So we're diving deeper.
It doesn't come from nowhere. It just comes to just, extend your understanding, extend the way you can implement this. It's like, it's kind of a natural way. And this is an obsession of I, of course. It's not just, you don't study just quantum physics or quantum physics. You study quantum physics for what it's applied to healing, and to make myself more efficient as a healer, and to understand a little bit also my own nature, because you don't, you want to help another, you need to be in the light. You cannot be to have two in your end together. And this is why by example, the 5-pillar class, there is an evaluation chart, assessment. We have improved that, because this is a map from the beginning to see, how look the field, where is flowing the energy, because we talk this with the organ. So in other words, it's like we push a little bit more, in this direction. This is because evaluation is important from this point of view of health parameters, but you need to understand, and I already talk about this, but I go a step further. So, and same thing, homotoxicology, hammer medicine, all these are very important. We just prolong, this is normal. I remember when I was doing my classic course, the guy was teaching for maybe 20 years the same thing, and he was even bored. He was bored himself, because he was all the time talking about anything else about the subject. This is not today. Today, as you know, if things go so fast, we have to keep up. We have to keep up with AI. Some are pro AI, against AI, or the AI will destroy us. The problem is not necessarily the AI. The problem is the human being. How they will use AI. It's like the nuclear bomb. So that's first, these people, the beginning of the century, Einstein, Planck, and others, they went a step further, but then what they have done with it, they create a nuclear bomb with this understanding. So how we'll use AI? and the other question is, don't try to compete with a processing information machine. You will, it's like when the calculator come around, people say, oh, but that's, you better still use the mind to do your calculation, but meaning that these AI with algorithm processing information like in a speed incredible. So, and then even today I was listening news to say, hey, what will be the role of the doctor? Is AI can replace the doctor? I'm telling you something. The AI would do better than a medical doctor. And they would say, oh, what about the bedside patient? The human. Do you think, I'm not saying everybody, but do you think in the context of the healthcare we are, the doctor is focused on the contact with the patient, the compassion, the entanglement. He doesn't even know about it. It's just go fast, go quick. So this doctor, that is, then as I told you, this is an army that prescribe the same protocol, because if they don't do it, they don't protect by liability insurance. These will be replaced. What will not be replaced is the healer doctor, because an AI will not be able to heal, because to heal, a healer heal, through this flow of consciousness, this entanglement with the client. And this is what we teach at Quantum University. This one you will not be able to be replaced, okay? But they will be able to replace processing machine. The guy has a diagnostic, this age, this, and here's the protocol, the chemotherapy. This they can replace, what is a doctor now in this linear model, I think can be replaced. But the healer one, the one that can, to intention heal, this notion of connectivity, this awareness, to practice this will stay. So in other words, you are a pretty good shape, if we think about AI. So
Okay.
I think I give birth again.
Yeah, no,
That's
this
okay.
is wonderful. This is wonderful. We're actually almost at the end of the session tonight, and this was just wonderful. Any final thoughts before I wrap it up, Dr. Paul?
Yeah, so I want to tell you, you're already a student, you're already in a program, you're in a good shape. You want to add a practicum, you can. If you don't have to, everything you already have is good. And then if you consider because your PhD for you is a monster, then you can look, you talk with your academic advisor, we will make this happen for you. But, try to understand, we cannot have, this morning I have a student, signed three years ago. And then, first 3 years ago, the cost of the program was less. And now she wants to get everything free. But, I would like to do this, but, it's like, we will find something that is, we accommodate everybody, as you know, usually. So, and don't feel sad if you can jump now, maybe you jump later. The PhD is not just a trophy, it's a recognition in this society of one of the highest recognition. It means, you have master subject, you have written studies about it, you have making your point. This is, and the Doctor of Holistic Health will not have that. Some people will do both, and gourmandise. I don't know how you say this in English. Gourmand, people like to eat, they never have enough. So they will do both.
Right.
But
some people are just thirsty for knowledge. I understand. But
but look at your reality. What's matter maybe at this time is the coaching, because if you're looking for not a solution, but you have some challenge financially, you want to generate income, get on board with this exponential healthcare, get coaching, and then as it goes, you will generate income, and then you will be able to access other layers of information. Okay, yeah. So it's all good.
Absolutely, thank you. Alexis, you're going to add something.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Paul. I mean, look, we're trying to get people not only to finish their programs, because a lot of people get stuck midway through their curriculum. They lose motivation. This happens, that happens, life happens. That's one of the reasons why we're hosting these QU Lives. Going forward into the future, of course, Debbie will mention to you these QU Lives. The format is going to be very specific, very topic specific every month. And then we have plenty of opportunity to ask questions. If you guys see the form that I posted there in the chat, that will be the form that you will use to ask us those questions so that we could be prepared to serve your needs. And as for the DHH program, the Doctor of Holistic Health, just to wrap up what Dr. Paul so beautifully laid out for us here, if you're already enrolled in the integrative medicine program or the natural medicine program, the bonus of the holistic health, what it could do for you is if you are struggling with practicum, in other words, you don't know how to gain those 1,000 hours of practicum, consider talking to an academic advisor and they will see how you can add the practicum package, I like to call it, to what you're already studying. Because having that practicum basically scheduled out for you, which the DHH program does, it could shave 1 year off of your time studying and completing your degree. So something to consider. However, when it comes to the actual course content itself, as Dr. Paul said, we still have to cover the fundamentals. Quantum physics, holistic health and healing, the different types of modalities, specific to health coaching, and the paradigm shift of medicine in general. How to apply, how to integrate, you learn the bits and pieces and you learn to put the puzzle together. That's what it's all about. And that's going to be the same in the DHH program. That's the way it is in the DNM, in the IMD. So you're not missing out on anything, because here at Quantum University, we keep all our curriculum updated. So you're always getting the cutting edge stuff, okay? So you don't have to worry about that. But yes, speak with your academic advisor if you have any questions, and use that form to ask us any questions, particularly pertaining to the QU Lives going forward, okay? And we'll always route you to the right people, okay?
Thank you, Alexis. And I see somebody commented about the forms that they need permission. So we will look into that tonight. So I think, Dr. Paul, you're all set? Yes? Good.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. So thank you, Dr. Paul, and thank you, Alexis. This was just wonderful. As a student and a health coach, I'm really excited about this program. I've gone through almost all of the program, the curriculum at Quantum, and I could see how this would benefit in a practical application of the arts of healing. So thank you. And I guess as we wrap off the kickoff, I just want to go over a couple more things for everybody here. Just a little bit more about the QU Live. The sessions, just a reminder, they will meet twice a month. We will have the first Wednesday of the month as the topic, and then a couple of weeks later, we will hold a follow-up class with more content. Next week, we have a slideshow presentation, just a little bit more about how the QU Lives will be run in each session. And from the questions we receive from the students, it'll allow us to structure the class more in depth regarding the topics discussed in the former class. So questions must be submitted no later than 3 days prior to the interactive class. Otherwise, we won't be able to include them into the next curriculum. These classes will be recorded. We'll not be taking any more questions tonight, but if, we will address the link issue, and once we do, probably tonight or tomorrow, it will be addressed, and then you could submit those questions. And please save that link, because that will be the same link that we will continue to use. And the questions you submit tonight will be addressed in the follow-up session. So thank you all for joining us for our official kickoff. Woo-hoo. And yeah, I'm so excited.
The form has been fixed, by the way. It's all good to go now.
Rochelle, you rock, Rochelle.
She does rock. So anyway, we are really hoping that this community brings support, growth, new friendships, and more on our journeys together. So we hope to see you all next Wednesday, same time. That's the 19th of July. Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Keep your eyes on that Facebook student group, okay? We're going to be posting stuff there.
That's right.
All
Thanks.
right. Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay.